The month of June is Pride Month. It's being celebrated now mainly in London, but it's the beginning of a whole season that goes all over the country. In Wales, we'll be celebrating it in August. Because of COVID, we don't still quite know what kind of form it will take, but there are lots of people who are determined that it will happen. When it first started, it used to be known as Gay Pride. But because it's relevant to all the spectrum of sexual and gender minorities, it's now just called Pride. When you think of it, it's a funny word. What exactly is there to be proud of in being gay or bi or trans or whatever? It's a simple fact about ourselves. It's not something we've achieved, like passing an exam or winning a prize. So why be proud of it? But of course the important thing is not what we are, but what we do with what we are. And there can be cause for pride. If you've spent most of your life being told that your sexual desires are disorderly or unnatural or sinful or whatever, it's so easy to take that in and to believe it, and to think that you're not worthy of being loved by God or loved or respected by people. If you've risen above that, if you've turned your back on it and have come to the point where you are at ease with yourself, then you've achieved something, and that is something to be proud of. The next step, of course, is to come out and tell other people about it. And that too is very, very difficult for some people. In fact, in some parts of the world, you can be risking your life. And wherever you are, it does take a bit of courage to come out. And if you've done that, well, you can be proud of it. And if you've stayed out and are willing to be open about your sexuality in every part of your life and in whatever company you find yourself, then that again is another feather in your cap, something else to be proud of. Taking part in a Pride event goes a step further, because that's not just about you as a person, it's something shared with others, something that affects others. It can be an encouragement to people who are still struggling with their sexuality, or those who are on the verge of coming out and not quite finding the courage and the moment to do it. But it's more than that. It's not just about LGBT people, it's about society. It's an attempt to change the norms and the prejudices of society. Not something just to advance the LGBT cause, but done for the sake of society itself. If we see it as a confrontation, a battle between LGBT people and the rest of the community, then we're missing something. We're just feeding our sense of being victims. We're feeding our sense of being right while they are wrong. We're rejecting the community because we feel that it rejects us. But no one can be an island. Whether we like it or not, we are part of the community. The best thing to aim for is not our rights, but a transformed society. A world in which all kinds of people, not only sexual and gender minorities, but other people, people who are victims of prejudice because of their race, their language, their culture, their age, because they're disabled or because they're poor, all kinds of people can be not just accepted, but take their full part in the life of the community. If we want that kind of world, we must be in solidarity with all the other disadvantaged people. As Martin Luther King said, no one is free until we are all free. And we must also do what may seem the most difficult thing of all, to include in that circle not only people who are discriminated against, but those people who are quite comfortable and secure in their place in the community and may tend to look down on anybody who is not like them. To include them in the community as well. To listen to one another. To try to understand one another. So that we can move together towards a transformed society. A world in which we can all be happy and proud to be human.